Yes, Bevan Jones joins us. Controversial corner from Chewing the Fat. Bevo, how are you?
Baz, Smithy, great to be on again.
All right, fire away.
Okay, so much to talk about. We almost did a half an hour segment, but I'll make it short. First thing, Orazio Fantasia. He's going to be at Port next year, I reckon. And potentially, we could see maybe Joe Atley, Ollie Wines or Willem Drew up for trade. There are a few Victorian boys there that Port's got a lot of in and under sort of players, contested beasts already. Yeah. And they've made it pretty clear that they might be needing to trade some of these boys. So Orazio would be fantastic in a Port Guernsey next year.
You wouldn't class Orazio as a in and under type player, though.
No.
I mean, he's more of an outside.
But what I'm trying to say is that we've already got too many of those sort of players. Yeah. So, to have an Orazio who's an absolute superstar for some of these other in and under sort of players that we've already got too many of would be a bad trade, I think.
Okay. So instead of being controversial corner, it's now breaking news corner. I haven't heard that anywhere. Have you heard that anywhere, that Fantasia might be coming back to... Well, you're a bit closer to the pulse down there, but haven't seen it in any media circles anywhere. But
I think you're
yes.
Okay, all right.
There's your breaking news, boys.
Breaking news, right.
And Port Destination Club as well, even though last Saturday night we won't talk about that, Baz, but it's good to see that he wants to go to Port, so it's showing that Port's doing all the right things at the moment. Secondly, speaking of someone who's not doing the right things, Israel Folau. What an absolute debacle that's become. Boys, did we just blow it up a bit too much with his social media rant, or do you think it was fair enough that they, cancelled his contract based on everything he said?
It's a tricky one, but I think part of his deal, his second deal was, okay, we're going to give you a deal, but you've got to keep those sort of things to yourself type of thing. I think that's why rugby has won the fight, and they will win the fight if he does happen to take him to court.
He's got a second part of the contract that stipulates that.
Yeah, I think there's if there's something in there that says, listen, mate, you can't shoot your gob off about certain issues, and he goes and does it, then he's broken the contract.
It's true.
So if you break a contract, then you don't get paid out.
And is he making a bit of a mockery of this GoFundMe page? I mean, I know it's a great thing that people with cancer and people are trying to generally raise money for, and then he's gone and he doesn't need. He's got 7 investment properties. Surely he doesn't need the extra money.
It's very controversial, though, isn't it? Well, it's controversial because regardless of what we say. Or you say, nothing's going to change. Nothing is going to change. He is going to continue his fight, and rugby. I see where someone's actually started up a GoFundMe for rugby.
Yeah.
Swanee back.
Well, Swanee started up a GoFundMe for his trip to Las Vegas. So there may be a limit on what you can put to GoFundMe.
That's right.
Look, I reckon the only thing with the Israel Folau, I've lost interest in it, to be quite honest. I've lost interest. He had his opinion. I reckon it all got a little bit blown out of proportion. Yeah. People that don't agree with what he said, people that agree, leave it alone. Yeah. What I haven't liked is the way that his wife's been drawn into it. I think netball, to their credit, have handled it much better than rugby.
I agree with you.
There was some pressure from the sponsors. They said, hang on a minute. Yeah. I want to know. So all his wife did was come out and said, I support my husband.
Which she will do every day of the week. Most wives will.
So what did she say wrong?
Nothing.
She hasn't come out and gone on with the opinion. She just support my husband.
Well,
she had come out and said, I don't support my husband. Imagine how many people would have got answers about that. Well, that's right. So I just think, congratulations to netball for the way they handled it all.
Yeah.
And she's got nothing to do with it.
Maria Folau, well done to you.
She didn't come out to even say that she agrees with everything that Israel said in his rant.
All she said was... And she's done nothing since then.
I'm his wife. I'm supporting...
I 100% go with
well said. Yep. Couldn't agree with you more, Swarthy.
Yep. And it should die a really quick death. That's
yes.
Leave Maria alone.
But speaking of a positive though, Ash Barty, what a story. Number 1 in the world now. And speaking of our women's sport, we had Hannah Green last week winning the PGA. We had Sally Fitzgibbon number 1 now in surfing. And Sam Kerr is now the number 3 soccer player in the world. So what's going on with our men, boys? The team, Australian cricket team is going well, but individually, Tomic we saw the other night in the Wimbledon, lost in 58 minutes in the first round.
Let me ask you this. I agree with what you're saying. The women have been absolutely sensational. We touched on that a bit last week.
Yeah, we did.
Ash Barty, Nick Kyrgios on Tuesday night, Channel 7, and they've showed Kyrgios when everyone wants to watch Ash Barty, even though she started a bit later. Did Channel 7 get it wrong?
Absolutely, they did. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so. But
you can't change the scheduling at the time because
as an old producer, I can tell you they got it probably spot on.
Well, when the scheduling's done, Ash Barty wouldn't have been number 1 in the world at that time. So there's a lot of things in the back play of that. It's not like you can just go, well, bang, oops, we've changed.
But people are getting sick of Kyrgios though, and Tomic for that matter.
Are they?
Well, personally, I am.
Say we are.
Well, Pat Cash came out and said, "Is he the Anna Kournikova of the male side of tennis. Had all the, not comparing looks or anything, just had all the ability but never really won anything other than Kornikova just won a doubles Grand Slam. That was it for her. Kyrgios has got all this talent. Doesn't look like he's going to be remembered as being a great tennis player. He's going to be remembered more for, I think he said he was a train wreck.
Yeah.
You know, he can be great. He can be throwing rackets. He can be breaking, you know, this and doing that.
Yeah.
It's just such a wasted talent.
It's so sad, Smithy. Yeah.
People will watch Kyrgios.
Because they want to see what he's going to do.
Exactly right.
But it is so sad because the guy has so much talent and someone needs to just, I know he doesn't want to coach, but imagine if he had a Darren Cahill or something like that behind him, how much better he'd be. So
anyone with Darren Cahill behind him would be better.
100% Smithy, yeah.
Oh, Bevo, as always, you've come in with some really good material, mate.
What else
Appreciate
have
your
you got,
time.
Bevo? You got nothing else? Is that it?
Oh, I'm out of time, I think.
We're getting the wine from the floor. You've got time to throw one more in if you want to, mate. Have you got one more that you want to throw in?
One more. Yes, actually I do. Victorian teams merging with Tasmanian teams. Like, you know, there's been a bit of talk about Tassie having their own team. Yeah. What about having, say, the Kangaroos or the Saints with a Tassie team in the next couple of years?
Or the Crows.
Or the Crows.
Yeah, we probably should have wrapped it up right there, Bevo, as always. Appreciate you coming in with those tips and other information. Stay with us. Still a little bit more to come on the show.